Ready Player One is directed by Steven Spielberg and written by Penn, and the writer of the book, which the film is based on, Ernest Cline, and it stars Sheridan, Olivia, Cooke, and Ben Mendelsohn, among many others. The film takes place in the futuristic Columbus, Ohio in 2045, where the real world is a very harsh place, and the only time someone truly feels alive is when they escape to the Oasis, an immersive virtual universe where most of humanity spends their entire existence. And after the creator of this virtual reality dies, he releases a video in which he challenges all the Oasis users to find his Easter egg, which will give the finder his fortune and control over all the Oasis. So in a world where we love our movies and our pop culture, video games, comic books, music, and just everything that is nerdy, this is a film where the actual plot is to find the Easter egg in it. And this film is a wonderful work from Spielberg. He aces every single sequence in this film, from his world building to his storytelling to his action sequences. He builds upon each sequence to the one that follows. And Spielberg truly combines his most early works that are just nerdy and bring out the inner child in us with his more mature sensibilities and skills as a filmmaker. He truly brings out the inner child in us, as you see that Spielberg does bring out the inner child within himself. One thing that Spielberg always accomplishes in each of his films, and he accomplishes again in here, is that sense of wonder and awe. As soon as Waithe first enters in the Oasis in the beginning of the film, you truly feel this sense of wonder and childlike imagination coming to life, and everything that then happens comes from who these characters are and how they relate to one another, because the film also talks about a lot about a reclusive existence. The Oasis is an escape from reality, much like we find in our own playing of video games and in our own watching of movies or reading a comic book or reading a book. Spielberg truly captures this sense that everyone must go to the Oasis to feel alive in some sense. And there's also a relationship and romance that sparks between two characters that I can't say I loved, but also didn't bother me, because it spoke to that aspect of who these characters are, their living situation, and the world that surrounds them, how they were raised, and who they are in these days that we follow in the film. Sheridan is a wonderful Waithe Watts. You see how shy he is, but you see how confident he is in the world of the Oasis, and how much reality changes to who he becomes in the Oasis. And that speaks also to a lot of the other characters. And the main group of heroes in this film is truly wonderful when it comes to their chemistry. Olivia Cooke is definitely a standout as Artemis, because you see how badass she is both in the video game and in real life, but in many different ways. She has a lot of nuances in this film, and I was really satisfied with that. Now, of course, this film is riddled with pop culture references, and yes, they are necessary. They don't come across as forced, because again, they come from who these characters are, how they grew up, how they studied to find these Easter eggs surrounding the game, because they need this knowledge, because this is who Halliday, the creator of the game, played by Rylance wonderfully, even though he's not in the movie much. He was this guy once. He was this kid that was just nerdy all the way through. Everything pumping in his veins was nerd and geek in every sense. And there are some references that are truly wonderful to see. I spoke earlier about how much of a master Spielberg is in this, and it's truly enchanting to see him work with some movies and some characters that are not his own, but see how he brings them to life in this film in truly unique ways. And still on the references, I'm very glad that they didn't feel the need to be topical. Apart from one character of Overwatch popping up here and there, and a quick view at the Minecraft world, they really stuck to how and why the book worked, and they really allowed Spielberg to reference the things that he created, that his fellow filmmakers from his earlier times created, and to what is classic about films, about comic books, about video games, about just everything that you can expect to be classic. You will see it in this film where it fits fits, when it fits, and how it fits. This film is about embracing the past, but also embracing what we can do with things that are in the past and that we grew up with and that we love, and bring them onto the future and bring them with us and making them identify us, because that's what we do. Now, the film isn't perfect because Ben Mendelsohn is wonderful in his role. He chews every scene. He just dominates the screen whenever he's on it. But as far as a character, he's an evil dude who is an evil dude because he's an evil dude, but he wants to be a world-dominating evil dude, and that's his character. Also, this badass looking motherfucker IROC, I'm not sure how that works because you create such a badass looking character, but then he's not necessarily what you expect, and there's also not much dimension to him. There are also some pacing issues, unfortunately. As soon as it clicked in my head that this film was doing well in spending a lot of time in the video game world and not in the real world, we step right out of that and go into the real world. And that's where some scenes feel rushed, some aspects to the character development feel rushed. Waithe's family life, you understand it, you get what is going on, but it feels very surface level. Also, some of his friends that we get to know a lot in the game, we get to meet who they are surface level in real life. And those are nitpicky things. I can't say they really bothered me, but I can say they left me wanting. But Ready Player One truly is a wonderful, delightful experience. It has a sense of adventure, it has a sense of wonder that Spielberg always excels at. From Alan Silvestri's incredible score to an immersive world that Spielberg creates both in and out of the game, building on each sequence after the next to create layers and making each scene more grander than the previous. Spielberg is back in the game with his also familiar film magic coming across the screen, from the way he shoots to the way he makes the editing and to the way he creates such wonderful worlds both in and out of the video game. This is not a perfect movie, but I can definitely tell you that Ready Player One is Spielberg at his best, at his classic, and it is a collector's item. What did you think of Ready Player One, my beautiful geekies? Did you enjoy it? Did you not? Did you read the book? I'm 50 pages in only. I am sorry, but I could already notice some differences. So let me know what you thought of the film, of the book. Don't spoil the book for me in case it is any different. And thank you so much for watching. You guys are the best. This weekend I will have a review for Blockers and many other reviews coming next week, so I can't wait to see you there. And so until then, you stay beautiful, you stay geeky, and if you haven't done so yet, click the subscribe button and the bell so you can be geeky united!